Hey, welcome to the channel. Now, every now and again we get sent a product which is just a little bit different to every other product that we get through the door, and today is one of those days. So a question that we get asked a lot on the channel is, what is a good travel microphone? What is a good microphone for starting out? And we always recommend the DJI mics or the Rode Wireless Go mics, but this microphone from Godox is just a little bit different, and I wanted to give it a shout out. The reason why this microphone I think is pretty great is because for its price range, I've never seen this before, it comes with a Sony hot shoe connection. That means that you can plug this microphone straight into any Sony camera, maybe a ZV-1, a ZV-E1 that I'm using right now, or a Sony a7S III. And it means you don't need any cables. You plug this in and you get some nice, clean digital audio coming into your camera straight from this microphone receiver. I'm using it right now, so what do you think of the audio coming from this microphone? I wanted to come outside today because it's a little bit windy, and I think it's a good test. If you sit inside a nice studio, you're pretty much always going to get good audio. So how is the microphone coming out of this little receiver? Let's take a look at the microphone in a bit more detail.
Okay, so if you've never used one of these before, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up and install this on your camera. It's really this easy. Let me show you. Simply get the receiver, slide it into your hot shoe on top of any Sony camera like that, and that's done. There's no cables to plug in, there's no settings to change on your camera. It knows that you've got a digital microphone plugged in and you're good to go. That's how easy it is.
Okay, so I'm just on the iPhone and using the iPhone's microphone. Now, what happens when you have a digital input on a microphone and you're going through the hot shoe is that you lose the ability to adjust the audio input on the camera itself. You have to do it from the microphone. So just be wary of that. It might spook some people. You might think that the microphone input is broken, but it is very normal. It's just grayed out. Control it from the receiver or your microphone. Okay, so let's start out with some pros of this microphone kit. The first pro is that you get two microphones and the receiver. So if you want to record podcasts, video interviews, you can do that with this microphone kit. The second pro, the biggest pro of all, is of course you can plug this straight into any Sony camera. So as I've mentioned, if you've got the ZV-E1, the ZV-1, the very small Sony camera from years ago, you can plug this straight into the hot shoe and you can record some great audio just with the receiver. You don't need that cable. And I like that because if you are a travel vlogger, maybe you just want a light piece of kit, you don't have to worry about the cables. You can just plug in the receiver, plug in the mic, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry that you're ever going to lose the cable and not be able to record good audio. So they are some of the pros. It's also very, very lightweight. So I believe this is around 12 grams. So you don't really feel it on your shirt at all. So a very, very lightweight setup. And the audio quality, I've listened to the audio back. I think the audio quality is actually pretty good. It's a little bit flat, but it's very good. You can always tweak the audio with some edit keys. Audio LUTs, I'll put some on later. But now let's talk about the cons. Cons for me, and there are a couple. Con number one is that you can't actually plug in a lavalier to the microphone receiver. So unlike the DJI mics or the Rode Wireless Go's where you can plug in a good lavalier microphone, you can't do that, which means you are stuck with just using the Godox microphone. Now, it's not a massive problem. This is quite a good microphone. I think the audio quality is good, but it does mean you're always going to have this hanging on your shirt unless you hide it below your shirt. A second con, in my opinion, is there's no magnetic mounts for this either, so you can't sort of hide it under your shirt with just a little magnet like you can with the DJI and the Rodes. And then the next con is that the construction is a little bit plasticky. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. As I say, when I'm out recording, especially like holiday videos and stuff like that, I don't want tons and tons of kit. I just want a microphone and a camera. That's all I want. And this enables me to now get that kind of wireless, decent microphone audio. It's got a wind muff on it. I can use it outside and it's working pretty great. I can just stick the camera in the bag with this kit and record some really fantastic audio like we're doing right now. And I think for the price, you know, around $130 in the US and about a similar sort of price in the UK in pounds, I think is a pretty good price because Sony do a hot shoe mount version of this camera, and you can get an adapter for the DJI Mic 2 kits, but then you're looking at £200-300. It's quite an expensive kit. So if you're a beginner or if you already have a microphone kit and you just want to add something else to your arsenal, this could be a great microphone for that price. Okay, next up, let's do a bit of a range test, shall we? It says it's got a 200-meter range. Now, if I walk to the end of this green patch here where the path is, I reckon that's about 200 meters. I haven't measured it, but let's do a test. I'm going to keep walking back and we're going to see how good this microphone receiver is. We do find that even with some of the other microphone tests we've done, like the DJI and the Rode, they don't quite get what they say they're going to get. They are pretty good. Again, this is a cheaper microphone. Let me turn around. Does this break up the audio? Because often you need a clean line of sight. I'm going to keep walking back now. We're easily at maybe 75 meters now, close to 100 meters. I'm just going to walk to this point here because let's be honest, you wouldn't want to walk this far away from your camera if this is still recording. I'll just show you on the iPhone how far away we are. You can't even see the camera from here. Let me just zoom in 2 times, 3 times. The camera is all the way over there. It's a 10 times zoom. I would never ever walk this far away from my camera, but let's see if it's any good. And maybe it cut out there, but we'll see. Can you still hear the microphone? And hopefully you can hear that all the way. Now, another trick this has up its sleeve, which I think is really good, again, if you're a solo creator, is that you can record using a microphone on the receiver itself. So if you're the sort of person that isn't really in front of camera and you go around maybe filming towns and cities or, you know, tech products, whatever, and you're filming from behind the camera, usually you would need to have a shotgun microphone, face that towards you, or just kind of wear what I'm wearing now. But what you can do is have this turned off completely and turn the microphone on the back. So let's try that out now. I'll do that live while we're recording. So I'm now going to turn on the RX mic. So now we've probably got 2 audio inputs coming in. I'm going to turn off the microphone here. I've turned that off. So now, if I pick up the camera, we should be picking up some audio from behind the camera. And I can show you this lovely estuary here, nice clear water running through it. And this just means, again, if you are recording and you want to show off something else, maybe you do town walks, maybe you do kind of a headless YouTube channel where you're not talking on camera, you can talk to the back of the camera, just have the receiver plugged in. You don't even need any microphones plugged in because it has a microphone built into the back of the receiver here. And you can get audio just like this. So one question I know I'm going to get asked in the comments below is, would I recommend this over the DJI mics or the Rode Wireless Go or Wireless Pros? Well, really, I think it depends what bracket you fit into. For me, you know, we record video every day. We do a lot of professional video, so we need the best that you can get. And for me at the moment, that's either the Rode Wireless Pro or the DJI Mic 2. They just deliver better audio. They have more features. And with the DJI, you can actually get this hot shoe adapter, but you are talking big money if you want to get in there. So where this sits for me is if I was starting out on YouTube, or if I'm just not that into audio and video. You know, we forget that people like me are geeks. We love cameras, we love the audio stuff. But some people, they just want to get a camera, plug in a mic and record. And this is exactly what this microphone does. It gives you good quality audio. It's so easy to use, easier than all the rest because there's not many settings you can change. And as I say, you're going to get good audio coming from it. So if I was starting out, if I was just talking in the studio or I was traveling, this is the microphone I would get if I had a budget of about £150. If I was trying to go more pro level, I would probably opt for the DJI or the Rode wireless mics. So I've come down to the beach to try out the next feature, and that's the noise reduction feature. Now, I wouldn't normally use this on a microphone like this because I think it's best to do that kind of editing in post in Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. But you should be able to hear maybe some seagulls, the sea. There's a speedboat out in the ocean. So what we're going to do now is we're going to activate the active noise cancellation and hear the difference. So I'm just going to let it roll for a second without it being on. And then what I'm going to do now is just press this button here on the side. The light goes orange, and now active noise reduction or noise cancellation is turned on. How does the audio sound? Quite often this can not ruin your audio, but it can make it sound a little bit more robotic, which is why I don't use it. But is it taking out that ocean wave sound, the sound of the seagulls, and the sound of that speedboat? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, one thing I would say about this, one of the cons, is that it's very easy to activate this button. Sometimes you can accidentally press this when you're putting the microphone on yourself, and you can accidentally press this on. So I would like them to maybe change that so it's a little bit harder to turn that on in the first place. Okay, so I've jumped back into the house, and this is just the spare room in the house where I wanted to give you an audio sample straight from the microphone indoors so you can really hear what it sounds like. Now, the microphone audio quality sounds pretty good in my opinion, but it is a little bit flat. But normally I don't worry about that because you can process the audio, and what I'd recommend doing is chucking on Editor's Keys audio preset from Final Cut or Premiere Pro. I'll put a link in the description below. So let's put one on now. And this is what you're hearing right now. This is the Editor's Keys audio preset on top of the Godox microphone. And you can see how this really improves the audio quality of this microphone and other small microphones like it. So if you do have a microphone that sounds a little bit flat and you just want to get a bit more body and volume into the microphone audio, this is how you can do it. Super easy, drag and drop it, and it sounds as good as this. So it just shows you that the Godox microphone, whilst sounding good straight out of the microphone itself, you can improve it even more with a little bit of audio processing.